Lord God Almighty. And only one word comes to mind, and only one word to describe.
Good morning, Water's Edge. If you guys want to stand, we're going to get started. Father, we thank you for your presence. We thank you that we can come together and worship. Lord, we love you. And we just ask that you would fill this place this morning in Jesus' name.
Stories of what they think you're like. I've heard the tender whispers of love in the dead of night, and they tell me that you're pleased and that I'm never alone. You're good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are, it's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am, it's who I am, it's who I am. You're good, good Father. It's who you are, it's who you are, it's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. Who I am, it's who I am. Well, I've seen many searching for answers far and wide, but I know that we're all searching for answers. Only you provide, 'cause you know just what we need before we say a word. You're good, good Father. It's who you are, it's who you are, it's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am, it's who I am, it's who I am. You're good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are, it's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am, it's who I am, it's who I am. You are perfect in all your ways. You are perfect. He is jealous for me. Love like a hurricane, I am a tree, bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. All of a sudden, I am unaware of afflictions lived by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Oh, how you love us so. Oh, how you love us. How you love us so. He is jealous for me. Love like a hurricane, I am a tree, bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. All of a sudden, I am unaware of afflictions lived by glory. I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. Oh, how we love us so. Oh, how he loves us. How he loves us so. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. We are his portion. He is our prize, drawn to redemption by the grace in his eyes. Grace is an ocean we're all sinking. So heaven meets earth like an unforeseen kiss. My heart turns violently inside of my chest. I don't have time to maintain these regrets when I think about the way he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves us. Oh, how he loves. You know, sometimes it's easier to sing corporately and say things like he loves us, and we get real uncomfortable when we say things like he loves me. And I just feel like this morning there's an invitation to change these lyrics and to declare over yourself that the Father loves you. So we're going to sing this again, but we're going to sing, oh, how he loves me. And maybe it'll make you uncomfortable, but that's okay, because he does. Yes, he loves me. Oh, how he loves me. Oh, how he loves me. Oh, how he loves. Yes, you love. give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. Pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our
ahead, take a seat. Good morning, Water's Edge. Ooh, that's loud. Oh, you guys got me there. How you guys doing? Good. We're at the point of seasons where it's almost summer, okay? So our summer rhythm is a little bit different than our school rhythm. So those of you guys that have been here for a while, you kind of recognize that. Those that are new, this is kind of what's going to happen. This week and next week, we're still going to have kids' church downstairs. I'm going to ask the kids' church volunteers to start heading that way because I'm going to send the kids really soon. In June, we won't have kids' church downstairs. The rooms will be available. We'll make sure that the sermon that's going on upstairs is downstairs. So those of you that have littles, you're welcome to be down there with your children. The rest of the church, we will have grace for our children when they act their age. All right? So sometimes it's a little bit crazier, a little bit loud. It looks like the kids are just going now, so that's okay too. You guys are welcome to head downstairs. You're dismissed. There we go. Well, I'm trying to get my PowerPoint slides back on up here. I might have to steal somebody else's. We're going to try to remember. Hold on. Dave, I might need a password. Let me try this one. Hold on a second. Here. You want to get me one that's working? Okay, so in the meantime, you want to throw up my announcement slides. One of the things that's going to happen during the summer that we're going to kind of shift to today is we usually as a church have somebody that does about a 5-minute encouragement, testimony, word, witness, and then we break up into groups to pray. Thank you. I recognize, if you want to get that working and back to me, I'll need my slides in a minute. I recognize that with more children in our upstairs during the summer and with so many people in and out and all over the place, our rhythm looks a little bit different, and so I try to shorten the service a little bit. And so what I do, which I sort out, is I take the prayer time that we covet, we love. We love to have that time in the middle of the service to pray together. And I take that, and I'm going to encourage you guys, please be intentional to come before the service and find someone to pray with, or stay afterwards. And if you're like, man, I really need prayer this week, at the end, when we're doing our second set of worship, just come towards the front, find somebody, or somebody will come find you, okay? So we're going to start doing that this week. Reason being, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of June. And when we have somebody else up here preaching, I don't want them to be like, oh, wait, what are we supposed to do in this back? So we're going to practice the rhythm for 2 weeks so that you guys all know the rhythm by the time we get there. All right? Okay, we don't have any we've been meeting for the school year. Again, that's a school rhythm that we meet every Thursday. We're not going to be having that again until the fall. However, no, you can go back to we'll go back to the announcements. I'll still need those for a second. All right, just disregard that. Don't even look at it. Okay, don't worry. Listen, one of the beautiful things about our church is we're super formal, right? Jokes. We also got humor, which is okay because I think God's got a lot of humor. While Josette and the crew finds my slides again, Jasmine, you want to throw up the announcement slides for me? First one, thank you. Listen, there we go. So, if anybody would like to help volunteer for technical things, listen, they're doing a great job. This one's on me. I'm not trying to get them out of a job, but we actually do love to have people involved. So if you're like, hey, I want to get involved, stuff, let me know. Anyways, what I was going to say is we're not meeting this Thursday for that, but we've been going through an adolescence class. So if you are like, hey, you know what? I have an adolescent, or I've got a child, or if you're like, I go to a church with a lot of adolescents. So really, any of you adults is welcome to come, okay? We're going through it. We're going to be on training number 4. If you come, I can come and catch you up on the first 3, and we'll keep going. But that'll be Thursday, 6 p.m., next door to the Blue House, which is where I live. So that's where we're going to be. Come join us. See Dave and Joy in the back. Dave's in the back. Wave to us. He's got some Rwandan bags, and he'll tell you more information. There's also information in the email that I sent this week. But basically, all the proceeds for those bags are going to go directly to help some of the kids in need over in Rwanda. So we're going to hear more from Dave and Joy next week about their mission trip to Rwanda and what God is doing next with them next week. I want to say congratulations to Charlie and Mary Holsworth and their family. They were able to have a child this week. So Rowan Michael Timothy Holsworth was added to our collective family. Obviously, they are in the process of resting and healing, but we're thankful for that addition. Mom and baby are doing well. Talking about birthdays, we've got a birthday Brandon over here. Happy birthday, Brandon, yesterday. Sorry, Brandon, I didn't get you anything. Kind of. I'll get you a slice of cake because it is also Lois's birthday in the back over here. Lois! Happy birthday, Lois. I just wanted to pause and recognize Lois, 90 years young. And listen, when you talk about a pillar of this church and somebody who has seen a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of hard, a lot of easy, there's a resilience that has to come with that. She has served, her husband has served, her family has served this church in many, many ways for many decades. And so a lot of the fruit that she ends up seeing today is from stuff that she's planted and her family has planted over a lot of years. And so just want to honor you, Lois. We've got a cake in the back that they'll cut into slices. You can cut that into slices right now if you want. And if at any point in time you need to take a bathroom break, a coffee break, or a cake break while I'm preaching, I won't be offended. And this is one of those things where those advantages of I accidentally sent the kids downstairs early means that you'll probably have cake until the kids come back upstairs. Okay? So this is your one pocket where if you want to do that, that's fine. Also, Brandon, I'm sorry I didn't get you any flowers, but we've got some flowers for you too, Lois. Just wanted to say thank you for your investment in this church. We love you. We are honored by your investments.
Thank you, Lois.
Okay, now if you're grumpy that I'm skipping prayer time, this is my invitation. If you want to come to another prayer time, tomorrow, 4:30, we've designed a space for you here. Okay, I want to move on. We've been going in Matthew for a while. I know that this is super, super small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys all stand up. You don't have to read it with me. I'm going to read it for you. Just because I want you to stand while I'm reading it. We're going to start in Matthew 9. We're going to end in Matthew 9. The real question is whether we end in Matthew 9 this week or next week, because I got a lot of rabbit trails to go on. Okay? I'm going to try to connect some layers. Those of you that have been here for a while, you're going to hear some of these stories. You're like, I remember when he was preaching on that. Okay? And then there's going to be some of you that are like, wow, I don't know where we just went. That's okay. I'll give you what you should have a snapshot-wise, and those that can stay with me, stay with me. Those of you guys that are like, I need to sit down and dig a little bit more, you can find this on our website, and you can slow it down and go dig in those spots. All right. While he was saying this, a synagogue leader came and knelt before him and said, my daughter has died, but come and put your hand on her, and she will live. Jesus got up and went with them, and so did his disciples. Just then, a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years came up behind him and touched the edge of his cloak. She said to herself, if I only touch his cloak, I'll be healed. Jesus turned and saw her. Take heart, woman, he said. Your faith has healed you. And the woman was healed at that moment. When Jesus entered the synagogue leader's house and saw the noisy crowd and people playing pipes, he said, go away. Girl's not dead, but asleep. They laughed at him, and the crowd had been put outside. He went in, took the girl by the hand. She got up. News of this spread throughout all the region. Glory be to God. All right, go ahead and sit down. This is where we're starting today. So, Cliff notes, God still can heal, and he can still raise the dead. He's got power, he's got kindness, right? He loves to redeem, and he's willing to touch the unclean. So if you get nothing else from the sermon today, may you write that down and remember it, and that's okay. Those of you that want to go for a ride, let's go for a ride. Deuteronomy 25. If brothers are living together and one of them dies without a son, his widow must not marry outside the family. Her husband's brother shall take her and marry her and fulfill the duty of a brother-in-law to her. The first son she bears shall carry on the name of the dead brother so that his name will not be blotted out from Israel. Super fun text. We always love this. These are these uncomfortable ones where you're like, what in the world is going on? So now your brother dies, so now you have to sleep with your brother's wife so that you can have a child, but it's not really your child, it's his child. Like, how many are like, please don't sign me up for that plan. That's weird, right? That's our culture. I get it. I understand. I'm in the same place. The intent, though, the heart of it is not to be weird, right? The intent is to honor the name of your brother in a way that you can carry on their name and they'll have descendants, okay? And so it's a way to love and honor the dead, which for us in our culture is really, really weird. I get that. So seeing, though, that we're in really, really weird territory, we're going to stay in weird territory for a minute. This law is called the law of Yibum, okay? The law of Yibum. And there's some Yibum stories in the Bible. There's actually more than this, but I have to limit my rabbit trails. So the first one I want to talk about is Abraham. So there's this Abraham story. We're talking about Abraham, Sarah, Abraham, Hagar, Isaac, Ishmael. Wait a second. This is really awkward spot where you've got like Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, and then they have to run away, and like Lot's wife dies, and then they're up in a cave, and oh man, like the daughters are in this spot where they're like, okay, the whole world just burned down. Fire just came down from heaven and like smashed everything. And you have to remember, they were born in Sodom and Gomorrah. Their world literally went up in flames. They're like, this is Armageddon, right? There's something inside of them like, well, I guess it's on us to make sure that we repopulate the world. This is kind of awkward because we only got our father, right? And so there's this weird situation where they show a kindness to their dad, but it's kind of without the right boundaries. It's awkward, it's weird, it's broken, this shouldn't happen, right? There's an incestuous thing that happened with a heart towards Yibum, but a messy situation. So they got him drunk in a cave, and they slept with him. They had 2 children, 2 sons. Each of them had a son. Those sons became tribes and nations. One of those sons was Moab, okay? So all of the Moabites come from this incestuous relationship between Lot and his daughter, which we're all like, can we just turn back the page? We were doing awesome with Abraham. I don't know why we had this interlude, but it's like, it's gross. Let's move on. That was weird. I don't know, right? So we keep going on. Later on in the story of Ruth, we find out that Ruth is a Moabitess, okay? The Moabites, they get known as being kind of scandalous. They're more of a seducing crew, right? So even when Israel, they're on their way to the promised land, and they come up with this plan, hey, you know what? If we can't just kill them, let's just weed them out. We'll just seduce them. We've got these Moabite women. Man, they've been in the desert for 40 years. They haven't seen someone who's taken a shower in a while, you know? And so they do that with the Moabite women. And so this is kind of the people that they're known for, right? This is what they're known for as a crew. Ruth comes from that line, okay? You guys got that one? Good, check. If you're like, I have no idea what he's saying, ask me. I'll take you out to coffee and I'll tell you more. Maybe. That's a weird story to tell you more about. Anyways, Joseph. All right, then you got the story of Joseph, right? And you keep going on. It's like Joseph and his brothers. Hold on, interlude, let's talk about Judah. You're like, bro, he just got to Egypt. Like, is he going to survive? Is he not going to survive? Like, I've been invested into this Joseph thing, and now, like, Judah goes down away from his brothers, then he's over here in this land, and he finds a wife, and then he has, he's got 3 boys, and the oldest one, he gets married, and it's like, okay, so oldest one is married now, but the oldest one was evil in God's sight, and so he dies. And then he's like, well, you know what? Tamar, who is the oldest one's wife, is like, you know what? Why don't I just do this Yibum thing with the second brother? That way I can keep my husband's name alive for descendants. All right? Again, there's a kindness in her where she's like, I want to keep this man's name alive, which is, I want to pause for a second and just honor Tamar and the fact that, like, is this weird? Yes. However, he was so evil that God was like, I'm taking him out. And she's still like, still want to honor his name. That's a beautiful heart, right? So, anyways, second one's like, I can do math. If I have a child with her, it's my older brother's child, which means that my inheritance just went from 2/3 to 1/4. I don't really want to give up 2/3 to 1/4 of my inheritance. So you know what? I'm going to make sure that I don't have a child with her. He made sure he didn't have a child with her. And God's like, don't like that either. You're going to die too. So he dies. Now they have a third son. The third son is super itty bitty. He's little, right? And Judah's like, oh, no. She's a witch. She's already taken out 2 of my sons. I don't want my third one to go. What am I going to do? You know, and so, P.S., he doesn't actually say a witch. That's just me, right? So he's sitting there and he's like, I don't want to give my youngest to her, right? So he sends her away. Hey, go back, hang out with your parents for a little while. Like, he's way too young. He hasn't even hit puberty. But you know what? When he gets older, then I'll come find you, right? But as a dad, he's like, I just want to get rid of this problem. All she's doing is mourning year after year after year, right? And years go by. And eventually you get to this place where she realizes, all right, bro has definitely hit puberty. He's shaving now. Like, but I haven't got a phone call. So he goes, and she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and I'm going to dress like a prostitute. She gets out of her grieving clothes. She's been grieving for about 12 years. Grieving a husband that's dead for about 12 years that was an evil dude in the first place. Wanting to honor his name and his legacy. She gets out of that. She takes a shower. She comes on over here. She's got her veil on. She's got everything, you know, her prostitute clothes on. And she knows he's walking up the road to this other place. And so she seduces him. And he's like, well, what is the price? And she's like, how about a goat? And he's like, well, I don't got a goat. Well, you can pay me a goat later, but why don't you give me your robe, your cloak, and give me your staff and your signet ring, and then I'll give them back when you give me a goat. And he's like, done deal. Sounds good. He gets her pregnant, right? Then he tries to send a goat later, and they can't find the prostitute. And he's like, well, don't want to announce to everybody that I was sleeping with a prostitute and I lost all my stuff that would be my identity, right? And so he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We're just going to act like nothing happened, right? And so he's going on with life. And there he sees, wait a second, Tamar is getting more and more pregnant. She's got twins, right? And she's at this place where she's at twins. And he's like, finally I can get rid of her because if she's sleeping around, now she's been unfaithful, now we can kill her, which is a whack rule too, right? And so he calls for her hit. He's like, all right, we're going to take her out. She's got the robe. She's got the signet ring. She's got the staff. She's got everything. She's got all the collateral that if she wants, when the crowds come to get her out, she could be like, this is the guy, by the way, it's him over there. She could have outed him, but she didn't. She sent him those things. All of the leverage that she had, she sent to him and said, do you recognize these? The man who slept with me, these are his. And he looked at them and recognized that they were his. And he had a choice. I've got all the leverage in the world. I can take her out now. Nobody will know that I ever had these things missing. She shouldn't have sent them over here first, right? Or he could be like, oh, you know what? She's actually more righteous than I am. I was the one who did the wrong thing in this. And so that's what he does. He recognizes her, and he recognizes that she is righteous where he wasn't righteous. Then he ends up having these 2 twins. He doesn't sleep with her ever again, but they have these 2 twins, and the first one is named Perez, okay? And out of this line comes the kingdom line, and this is the line that God's like, okay, now Judah, now that I know that you're willing to actually recognize, humble yourself before me, do the right thing, even though you could have gotten away with it, now I'm going to let you know that I'm re-giving you that staff and a signet ring and a robe. Who has a staff, a signet, and a ring and a robe? But a king, right? I'm putting the Davidic kingdom line through you. There's going to be someone that's always going to be on your throne. All of these prophecies come to Judah after he gets restored because he recognized that her righteousness, okay? So all of that stuff is happening. Out of this line, you get a man named Boaz, okay? So you got a kind of a Icky Yibum story over here and a Yicky Yibum story over here, and then they collide, okay? I want to pause for a second, too. Her husband's name, Tamar's husband's name was okay? Let's take a look at it. The name derives from the Hebrew root, which conveys the idea of being awake, and evidently the Hebrew didn't want to translate on my PowerPoint. All right, alert or watchful, which is kind of a fascinating name for somebody who's dead, that he's still kind of watchful or alert, right? All right, I'm going to keep moving on. Okay, talking about goats and coat stories, right? You've got the one with Judah and Tamar where he had, paying with a goat. He had to leave his coat. He had the coat restored to him. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, good. All right. Before that, we have got this goat and coat story where Isaac is getting older. He wants to bless his 2 sons. He sends Esau out to go hunting. While Esau's out hunting, Jacob and Rachel are like, hey, you know what we should do? Let's trick Dad, you know? And so they go and they like kill a goat. And then as she's like making it into a stew, he's like, my twin bro is super hairy. Like, for sure, he's going to figure it out. And I don't even smell like him. And she's like, well, go get his coat, go get his jacket, go get his shirt, go put it on. And then we're going to coat your arms with actual goat skin and the blood and everything else. And so he's got these, like, for real, super hairy dude if, like, you get tricked by an actual goat hair, right? That's a lot of hair. Anyways, they do all of this to trick Dad into getting the blessing. And Dad's like, I don't know. My eyes aren't very good. I can't quite see you. He's having a hard time. He says, I can't recognize you. I don't recognize this. You sound like one son, but you feel like a different son, right? And so he's struggling with it. And he deceives Dad. He gets a double portion of blessing. But because of deception, he's got to run for his life. And he goes up to his father-in-law Laban's house, where he's up there enslaved for 21 years for this deception. This goat and coat deception, 21 years, right? He ends up going up there. He ends up having a bunch of children, 12 boys, 1 girl, right? But he started working for the love of his life, this Rachel. Oh, she's the beauty. She's the one I want. She goes up there. He works for 7 years, and he gets married only to find out that, like, in the morning, he was duped. It wasn't even Rachel. It was older sister Leah. And he's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You switched out my bride. I worked 7 years for her, and you gave me this one? And Father's like, well, you know what? Sorry, it's a 2-for-1 deal, but it takes another 7 years. And so he has to work another 7 years. Then he's like, okay, now I've got 14 years. I've got a bunch of children, but I don't have anything, and I'm still enslaved. He's like, if you work another 7 years, I'll give you some animals. So he's here 21 years, but there's a lot of, like, fighting, if you can believe it or not, having, 2 wives plus 2 kind of maidservants, and all. It's a mess, right? But you have Dad who's like, you know what? The one that I really loved, that was Rachel. And her firstborn is Joseph. So, as they get older and as they leave, right, they go on out and they get into the promised land. And he's like, all right, let me give you, Joseph, this fancy new coat. And the coat, this robe that he's got, it's not just like, hey, you got the newest one. It's one that says that you're the firstborn. You get the double portion of blessing. You're the one that I recognize that's the oldest, the next in line. And all of his older brothers from a different mother were like really offended, right? Like, are you kidding me? Joseph, this pipsqueak? Like, he's at home, he's playing over here, we're doing all the hard work, right? And not only that, he's tattletaling on us, right? And so there's this division that happens between Joseph and his brothers, right? So Joseph's dad sends him out. Hey, go, find your brothers, come back with a good report. He goes to find them, and the brothers are like, let's just kill him, we're done. Let's just take him out. And then they're like, well, kind of our brother. Maybe we could sell him. Maybe we get some money instead, right? So they're willing to sell him, and they're arguing about all this stuff. They rip off his coat, right? He ends up getting sold into slavery down to Egypt, and they're like, well, all we got is this coat. What are we going to do? You know what? Let's grab a goat. Let's kill the goat. Let's put the blood of the goat on the coat, and let's bring it back to Dad, right? So they do that. They bring it back to their dad, and they're like, hey, do you recognize this coat? Right? And Dad's looking at that, and he's like, well, obviously I recognize that this is Joseph's coat. But there's an underlying layer in Hebrew where they're actually saying, passive-aggressively, do you actually recognize who this should be? This should be Reuben's. You've got an older son that should have this coat. You gave it to the wrong son. Can you recognize it? He can't recognize it. All of these stories have a problem of, like, a father that can't quite recognize a son or a daughter, or brothers that can't quite recognize each other. You've got all of this mess that's happening. All right, so again, we got 12 sons. Anytime that you hear the word 12 in Hebrew literature, it's talking about the 12 sons of Israel, okay? It's the fullness of the country of Israel. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, I already went through all that stuff. Okay, all of this starts colliding in the book of Ruth. You guys ready to fly through Ruth? Good. I got a few of you guys that are ready. The rest of you guys, eat some cake. All right. So, you got a guy named Elimelech. He's a kinsman redeemer, okay? Kinsman redeemer means that a kinsman redeemer would go and they would a lot of times, they would be the ones that do the Yibam stories, which are weird, to make sure that the family line goes. Another thing that they do is like, hey, I'm pretty wealthy, but my brother's really struggling and he needs to sell his property. Well, then I'm going to buy his property. I'm going to help him out. And when he gets back on his feet, I'm going to give it back to him. I'm going to restore it back to my brother so that our family line and what we have stays in the family, right? If somebody goes and kills my brother, it's my job as a kinsman redeemer to actually avenge his death if they went and murdered him. So I got to go. So like there's all of these layers of kinsman redeemer stuff. So there's a famine in the land. Kinsman redeemer should be the one staying at home and making sure that, hey, I don't have a ton, but I'm going to make sure that I can take care of everybody. Instead, he's like, there's a famine. I don't know that I want to share with everybody. We're going to pack up and go. So they leave the country. Do you think the people at home are super jacked about that? Not really, right? So he leaves. He goes over into Moab, right? And when he's in Moab, he dies. So Naomi, which means cheerful, she goes from cheerful into a place where she's now away from her family and she's away from everything else. Her husband dies. She's grieving. Her 2 sons go and take Moabite wives, which is like a slap in the face. It's like, man, for sure we're cutting ourselves out of all of the genealogies, it seems. Like, what are we doing, right? But she has these 2 son-in-law, or 2 daughter-in-laws, okay? And so with the 2 daughter-in-laws, they're married for about 10 years, okay? And so they're there for 10 years, and then both Mahlon and Chilion, they both die, okay? Which their names means like sickly and fading away, which it's like, oh man, if I was going to name a kid sickly, it seems like bad omen, right? I don't know. Anyways, he ends up dying, right? So they both die. Mom's like, I'm going back home. He's got these 2 daughter-in-laws where he's like, you know what? You should go back to your parents. You know, basically, God has cursed me. I left. I never should have left. Now I just lost my husband, my 2 sons. You know what? Me in my old age, I'm not going to start having children again. So, like, there's no reason for you to wait in order for me to have sons and have them grow up so that you could maybe then honor their names. Orpah's like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. All right, deuces. And she goes home, right? Ruth is like, no. Your God is my God. Your country be my country. Hey, I'm with you. No matter what, I'm staying with you. I'm leaving my country. I'm leaving my people. I know that you're old. I know that you're bitter about it. I know that you lost your husband and your 2 sons. I'm still going to be with you. So she comes back, right? So Ruth and Naomi, they both come back into town. Naomi's like, oh, no, don't even call me Naomi. I'm not cheerful anymore. Call me Mara. I'm bitter. I'm upset. You know, as you can see, I went with 3 dudes. I'm coming back with a daughter-in-law that you guys don't even love because you don't really love Moabite people, right? And so after about 12 years away, they come on back, okay? Ruth is like, hey, you know what? Go, my daughter, gather grain like a stranger in the land, which means that they had these laws that as you're picking the barley and as you're picking wheat, you wouldn't make sure that you picked up all the scraps. You left some there for the poor, the widowed, and the stranger, right? So those from different countries, you could come in and pick up the little scraps that were left in the field. And so that's what she was doing, right? She ends up in a field by a guy named Boaz. And Boaz says, hey, daughter, stay in this field. Gather what you need. And Ruth stopped and said, what have I done to find favor in your eyes as a stranger? Boaz says he recognizes her kindness towards Naomi and her dead husband. Here you have somebody who recognizes her and who she is on the inside for the first time, okay? Keeps going. Ruth then says, go, my daughter, and gather grain like a stranger in the land. She ends up, I already said this one. Oh, there's more. Boaz says, he recognizes kindness. Okay, may the Lord under whose wings you have come take refuge and bless you richly. Okay, so he acknowledges it. He says, may God bless you. Okay, keeps going. Boaz invites her to eat with him, bread and wine, tells her again to stay in the field, end of the harvest. At the end of the harvest, Naomi tells Ruth, hey, put on your best clothes. Also, take a shower. You smell. You've been working hard, right? But again, shower, clean up, put on your best clothes, put on some perfume. Tonight, what I want you to do is you're going to sneak back out there. When he falls asleep because he's had too much of that wine, I want you to sleep at his feet. He'll tell you what to do from there, right? And you're sitting there and you're like, huh, okay. And he wakes up in the middle of the night, can't quite see, and says, who are you? Who are you? And like, if you can catch some of these other layers of all these other stories where it all went wrong, where every time there's this point where they had a chance and they decided to deceive instead, she says, I am your servant Ruth. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family. The Lord bless you, my daughter, he replied. This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Pause. The other time that you're going to see noble character in the Bible is going to be the Proverbs 31 woman. Okay, so Proverbs 31 woman is actually going to be from Boaz's perspective of Ruth. That's a whole other sermon another day. Although it is true that I am a guardian redeemer of your family, there is another who is more closely related than I. Okay, I'm going to jump back to that in a second. I guess it's a second. So she risks everything and tells the truth about who she is. Think about this for a second. She didn't have to answer. She didn't have to, she could have gone along and seduced him just like all these other stories. Yet she risked everything and said, I am Ruth. I'm Ruth the Moabitess. Right? Like, take it or leave it. This is who I am, and now I'm going to challenge you. You said that may God put his wings over me? I'm asking you to put your wings over me. The corner. Okay? So the corner. So here's a quick thing. Kanaf is the word in Hebrew. And sometimes they would have an outer garment that it's not quite like this, but kind of like this, right? And so you think about a corner of a cloak, corner of a robe would be called a wings, okay? So these are the wings of the thing. So sometimes that they would do this, but then also when they would be working and at night they'd have to sleep outside, sometimes they would use this as kind of their blanket. And so what she's asking is, put the wings, put this over me at the end of you. Like, can you do that? But what she's really saying is, all of the Psalm 91, right? Those who dwell in the shelter of the Most High, right? Dwell in the shadow of his wings. You're going to see this over and over when you're talking about shelter of the Most High and shelter of his wings. It's a thing of provoking a covenantal relationship where you are going to provide and protect. She's saying, if it's good enough for you that you believe that God should provide and protect for me, can you put your money where your mouth is? Can you do that again for me? You're a kinsman redeemer, aren't you? I'm related to you, aren't I? Why don't you do that? That's a challenge and a half right there. That's bold, right? And yet Boaz says he's going to redeem her, okay? Again, this is a culmination at some level in the Old Testament. We're going to see more of these in the New Testament. But if you think about it, we've heard all of these goats and coat stories go awry, one after another. But this is one where he uses the coat, right? The corner of his thing. And you're like, but Benny, where's the goat in the story, right? Where's the goat in the story? The irony is Boaz, part of his name, the nickname of it means goat. He is the goat that spreads his coat to protect and provide for Ruth. Isn't that cool? Okay. In Leviticus 25:25, if one of your fellow Israelites becomes poor and sells some of their property, their nearest relative is to come and redeem what they have sold. Okay, so that's one of those things I was talking about with the kinsman redeemer. So he's got to go and redeem it. But he's like, well, she's younger, she's attractive. What am I going to do? I don't know. He's got a bunch of field over there. You know what? I'm going to go to the town square in the morning. Everybody's going to come on in. That's where all of the big trades happen, right? And so he goes in and he's like, okay, hey, bro, you're the nearest kinsman redeemer. Naomi's home, but, she's an older widow. She probably can't do a whole lot of farming. I want to buy the land, but you're closer. Why don't you buy it? And he's like, yeah, sounds great. If I can expand my fields for freezies, that's awesome. He's like, oh, by the way, Ruth is also there, and she's looking for someone to give her a child so that she can, keep the name going on, of the family. And the guy's like, doing the math in his head. Okay, so if I bring home another wife, my wife is going to be not happy. okay? But if I give her a child, it's not really my child or my wife's child. My wife is still not happy. But then if I feed this kid and raise this kid, that when he gets older, then I have to give the field back to him because it's not really my kid. So this is a lot of investment for me not to have any like reward at the end except for a bunch of grief in the meantime. So he's like, bro, I can't do this. Like, what are you setting me up for, man? You do it. And he's like, all right, everybody, I'm going to redeem Elimelech's land. I'm going to redeem Naomi. I'm going to redeem Ruth. I'm going to redeem this whole situation. Okay? So that's exactly what he does. And then they switch sandals because that's what they do, sign contracts. And anyway, they keep moving. One of the things that they say at this transaction is, may you have standing in Ephrathah and be famous in Bethlehem. Through the offspring the Lord gives you by this young woman, may your family be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah. They're even calling out the Yibam story here. May this be the line that the kings come through, is basically what they're blessing with. Okay? Then you have Boaz and Ruth, who end up coming together. They have a son named Obed. Obed has a son named Jesse. Jesse has a son named David. All the kings come through David. Whew! Okay, almost there. Malachi 4, for behold, the day is coming, burning like an oven, when all the arrogant and all the evildoers will be stubble. The day that is coming shall set them ablaze, says the Lord of hosts, so it'll leave them neither root or branch, not even a descendant. But for you that fear my name, have awe of my name, the Son of Righteousness shall rise with healing in its wings. You shall go out leaping like calves from the stall, and it keeps going on. There's a ton of verses, way too much for the time that I have, in the Bible where it talks about the daughters of Zion, daughters of Jerusalem, daughters of Israel. And God promises over and over and over again to redeem them. Okay? Okay, that's a whole lot of backstory. Let's jump back into this story. While he was saying this, the synagogue leader came and knelt before him and said, my daughter has just died, but come and put your hand on her and she will live. Jesus got up and went with them. So did his disciples. Just then, a woman who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years and came up behind him and touched him on the edge of his cloak. She said to herself, if I only touch his cloak, I'll be healed. Jesus turned and saw her. Take heart, daughter, he said. Your faith has healed you. And the woman was healed at that moment. When Jesus entered the synagogue leader's house and saw the noisy crowd and people playing pipes, he said, go away. Girl is not dead, but asleep. But they laughed at him. After the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took the girl by the hand. She got up. News of this spread throughout all that region. So, Peshat level, the very surface level, God still heals. He has compassion on those that are suffering. This woman of 12 years bleeding, he heals her. He still has the capacity to raise the dead, right? You see his kindness, his recognition, all of those things. If that's what you get out of the sermon today, that's okay. I'm going to pause, though, and ask you, what are your observations in Matthew 9 here? Touch the edge or the wings of the coat. Okay? What else? You see 12 years again. Where did we see 12 years here? 12 years of blood. How old was the girl? 12 years old. It's not in this passage, it's in Mark. They tell you that she was 12 years old. So you got a girl who's 12 on your way to bring her back to life. You got a woman who's been bleeding for 12 years, right? We saw the 12 years for Ruth and Naomi that were out. Like we've seen a lot of 12s, and 12 represents the sons of Israel, all of Israel. Okay, what else do we see? What else stands out about this passage? Jesus is the Son of Righteousness with healing in his wings. And the what? And he redeemed the daughters. Redeemed the daughters. Right? The first woman, actually, sorry, I'm going to pause. What other observations do you guys have? About to preach at you again. She was desperate. Yeah. What else? The unbelievers laughed at Jesus' statements. These mourners, by the way, it goes into more detail in the other Gospels, but what they would do as a practice is they realized, most average people aren't very good at grieving, especially grieving death. And so it was an actual job. You could be a mourner. You could be a professional mourner. I'm really good at crying and wailing and like drawing people into the grief. Their job was actually to help them grieve. And so these people that are there probably weren't super duper close. They were hired as people that we do the sad songs and we cry and we help you work through your stages of grief. And they're like, are you kidding me? This is all we do. This is our job. They don't come back. They're not sleeping like we see a dead person. We know a dead person. We've been around, right? Okay, what else do you guys see, observation-wise? Okay, so you've got two intersecting stories. We talked about Matthew. One of the things that Matthew's going to do is he's going to pair stories, right? He does two of this and two of this and two of this. Why is he always doing two in his stories? His audience is Jewish. And for a testimony to be established, you need two witnesses. So almost all of these things, Matthew's going to highlight two stories that intertwine or overlap or back to back. And so as we read it, we're like, this one either is going to match the story right before it or right after it, very frequently in Matthew. Okay? What else do we see? Your faith has healed you. Pause for a second. This woman has been bleeding for 12 years. Does that make her unclean? Being unclean, can you go to the synagogue? Can you be in a crowd of people? In order to get to a crowd of people, you actually have to be yelling, unclean, unclean. Does she yell unclean as she sneaks through the crowd? No. There's two places where you can hide. In darkness or in a crowd of people. And she comes in. The other stories, it's interesting because it's like, she's like, whoa, stop, somebody touch me. And they're like, bro, I don't know if you know this, but you're like in a crowd of people. Like everybody's touching you. Like we're all touching you. It might have been me. I don't know. Sorry about that. Did I touch you? Right? She's like, no. I felt power go from out of me. Right? And so you have this woman who came in who's risking everything. It's the desperation Jay's talking about. She's like, I'm going to risk it all. Like, listen, somebody that's unclean, you coming into a crowd, you just made the entire crowd unclean and unable for the next week to get into the presence of God. Yet her faith healed her. And her faith, she hasn't been in a synagogue for 12 years, so maybe, just maybe, and I'm speculating here, she either had somebody who was teaching this, or the Holy Spirit revealed it to her, or she was remembering when she was a kid, before she started bleeding, going to synagogue, and she knew the stories, and she sat with them, because nobody else had touched her for years. You can't touch her without getting unclean. Think about 12 years of your life with nobody having physical contact with you. 12 years. Bleeding, being separated out. You're in some kind of sickness, unhealing, almost like a walking dead because everybody's just waiting. Can you get a husband? No. Can you get a child? No. There's nothing you can do except for honor everybody else who's essentially shunned you by giving them space. Your role in the community is giving people space. And yet there's something inside her that rises up because she knows some of these stories. And she doesn't have a Bible to sit there and read through the stories. And she can't go be like, hey, people in the synagogue, if you could just like give me some of those parchments. I just want to like read them out back for a minute. They're not doing that. So everything she has to hear and remember and like process it in her heart. And she comes to the place where there's that verse in Malachi, the Son of Righteousness will rise and there'll be healing in his wings. And these are the wings, and they've got this garment, and they've got these tassels that come down. They call them tzitzits, right? And they even go to the place where there's, Hebrew, or let me see, in Deuteronomy and Leviticus, they're telling you all these things about having the tassels and this and that. And they'll fold them a certain way, and they tie them a certain way, so that literally by the knots it has numbers. So it has Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, what we would say Yahweh. So literally it'd be Yahweh on these tassels that would be down the thigh, which the thigh is the place of inheritance. So you have a place of inheritance. You got a place of Yahweh on the side. And she's like, if I can only touch Yahweh on that one, there's healing in his wings. You feel that? How much faith does she have? She's like, you know what? I've been bleeding for 12 years, but if I touch his robe, it's enough. I believe the Father's promise that there will be healing in his wings, and I recognize that that is the Son of righteousness. That is the Son of God in my presence. And I don't care what crowd is in my way, I'm going to touch him. And she comes on up and she touches this man, and like immediately like, whoa, there's power that just went out of me. And they're like, bro, there's a lot of people that touch you. What do you mean power came? What is that? He's like, I felt it. Somebody recognized me in a crowd. He says, who did it? And here she has this possibility. The power went out into her. She could just slink back in the crowd, and yet she had the same kind of faith that Ruth said. She got down, she said, it was me. I did it. I was unclean. And he's like, your faith has made you whole. But first he says, daughter. I don't want you to miss this. I think this is the only place in the Gospels, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, where Jesus directly calls somebody daughter. Daughter is a covenantal term of restoration back into a family. And he says, I recognize you as my daughter. You're whole. You're healthy. Your faith has made you well. And you pause and you recognize, what kind of faith does this woman have? But also, what kind of kindness does Jesus have? He's like, wait a second, I've got this thing where I got to go raise someone from the dead, and like this should like trump whatever other messages that I've got. And yet in a crowd, he's got all these people around him, and he's like, you know what? Whoa, I still have time to heal this one. She's sleeping. I'll let her sleep a little bit longer. He's not riled up. He's not like, oh, I got to get my resurrection vibes going. We got this, you know? He wasn't like, hey, guys, crowd, come check this out, right? He's not doing that. He's like, wait a second, there's one here who recognized me, and I need to recognize who she is, right? He recognizes the one. Daughter, 12 years. Ooh. Okay, synagogue leader. Tell me about the synagogue leader. Does that stick out for you? Okay, I'm going to tell you about synagogue leader. This is one of those things where, like, I read through this. I used to read through this over and over again, and I miss all of the depth. And you're like, okay, God healed this woman who's been bleeding for 12 years. Great. Okay, God also went and, like, resurrected this 12-year-old kid. That's pretty special, right? And I didn't pause and honor the synagogue leader. A lot of times we're like, oh, those Pharisees, those Sadducees, they never got it. Here you got a synagogue leader. This dude is like the head of the church. He's the one that he's reading out. He's like, hey, you're going to read this week in this passage. Next week, you're going to read this one. Next week, you're going to do this one. And he's picking the passages that they're reading. And he's the one they're like, I don't understand this. They come to him for the interpretation of the text. This guy is elevated among the church. He is respected in the community. He's known the Bible. He's known the Word. He's been a scholar. His whole life, he's had what it has taken educationally, intelligence-wise, to be like, I understand these scriptures, and I'm actually in a place of authority in them. And yet his 12-year-old daughter dies. And like any other father, he's like, what can I do? He's also desperate. He's also got grief. And he's sitting there, and it's like all of the light bulbs go off for him. He's like, the man that I have been like teaching about my entire life is that man. That man. And he also walks up to the crowd, and he's like, Jesus, if you could only touch my daughter, she'll come back to life. He kneels before him. You kneel as a sign of submission to the one that you know is greater than you. Here's a guy in the religious community that was at the top who also recognized Jesus for who he was. And he also risked everything. A man that's up here as the head of the synagogue, you put yourself down there and you kneel to a guy. If your kid doesn't come back to life, you're out of a job. Oh, you're probably out of town. You might be killed. But he had so much faith that, no, this man is the Son of righteousness. All he has to do is touch her, and we're good. 12 stands for what? The sons of Israel, the completion, the whole tribes of the family. You have two stories back to back where it says 12. Part of why Matthew's putting that in there, and part of why you have the synagogue leader going and kneeling before him and saying, my daughter has died. Come and put your hand on her and she's going to live. And then you have this interruption of another story where you have somebody who's been sick in need of healing for 12 years. Is because at one surface level, it's about a daughter and a daughter needing to be healed and restored. But part of what Matthew is trying to say is, can you wake up and realize that Israel has been sick and they're dead? But the Son of Man came to redeem them, to heal them and bring them back to life. And all it will take is his touch. The Son of Righteousness is here. He's trying to make a blanket statement for the Israelite audience. Do you know the kinsman redeemer that has come from heaven to redeem your life and redeem mine? Doesn't matter if you're the top of the top, if you're in the head of the church, or if you're somebody that for the last 12 years you haven't been welcomed into the church. He still recognizes you. And if you can recognize your own sickness, the last passage, the last sermon we talked, he came for the sick, not the healthy. But the first step has to be an invitation for us to recognize I'm in need of a healer. I'm in need of a Savior. I need someone that's just going to touch me. You guys want one more quick tangent? Or no? Okay. The Bible's all, it's all interwoven. The whole thing is. Okay? There's a passage, Samuel 24. Saul took 3,000 men and set out to look for David near the crags of the wild goats. Right? And David and his men hid in a cave. The men urged him to kill Saul. Hey, sneak up. You're in a cave. Take the inheritance that God has promised you. And so Saul went up there. He went to relieve himself. Didn't know that David was in the back of the cave. And he came up and he cut off what? The wings of his coat. And then he falls down after Saul goes out and he's like, woe is me, I should not have done that. I can't do this to the Lord's anointed. And he calls out to Saul and says, Saul, listen, bro, I had a chance to kill you. And also, like, I'm grieving, I'm sorry, I cut off the corner of yours. The corner where the tassels are is going to be the name of Yahweh. It's a place of inheritance. And basically, he's not just cutting off a piece of like a souvenir. He's actually saying, hey, your authority is cutting off and it's coming to me. And then he realizes, I can't do this on my own strength. Immediately he's like, God, I'm so sorry. And this is also a time where Saul stands up and recognizes, hey, you are going to be the next king. I recognize that you are the next one anointed. And then he makes David promise, please do not wipe out my family. Because that's what a king would do to another king, is you make sure that nobody avenges the first kings. David says, sure, no problem. Which ends up having his grandson, Mephibosheth, sit at his table, ate at his table all of his days, even though he was lame. Okay, some reflections as our worship team comes back up. God cares deeply about redeeming our stories, even if it takes generations and generations of invitations. Man, he's got so much patience that he's like, oh, they screwed that one up again. I'm going to invite their kids. Oh, they screwed that up. I'm going to invite their grandkids. So if you're here and you're like, Pastor Benny, I don't know if you know like the past generations in my family, but they're not great. There's an invitation today for it to end and for it to be blessing instead of curse. He wants to redeem. He is a redeemer. He likes to restore. He enjoys restoring. He's a father that both recognizes us and shows his overwhelming kindness to us. Not like those broken stories that had either recognition or kindness. He actually can do both. If you step out in faith, recognizing your sickness, he is faithful to recognize you as part of the family and has the capacity to heal you, protect, and provide for you. Jesus is the ultimate kinsman redeemer. looking to redeem his daughter Israel, which includes lines and generations beyond just Israel. His heart is to redeem all. Heavenly Father, I thank you for your goodness. I thank you for your faithfulness. I ask that you give us eyes to see you, ears to hear you, a heart that is soft towards you, and lips that can taste and see your goodness. God, we acknowledge that there's sickness among us. Some it's physical, some it's mental, some it's emotional, some it's spiritual. God, we acknowledge that we're not perfect, but somehow you love us. You're enthralled by us. You enjoyed creating us, and you enjoy our presence. So God, I ask that you would give us a profound gift of being able to just enjoy your presence, even just in a small taste of what you enjoy of ours. Help us enjoy your presence and help that taste of your presence transform us from the inside out. God, help us to have patience for the process. God, help us to have a heart that is soft, and yet resilience like Lois, that decades later we're still planting seeds and we're still loving the person next to us. God, help us honor you. Help us love you. Help us receive your love. God, if there's any of us that have anything that you need to wash your forgiveness over us, give us the courage to seek somebody out for prayer, the courage to just sit in your presence and let your words wash over us. God, I'm thankful that we don't have to trick you to get in. God, that we can come in with the wrong lineage, sometimes smelly, not the right clothes, and somehow you can wash us. You can give us a robe. You can give us your ring. You can give us an identity where you call us a son or a daughter.
Oh, praise. So my heart will sing, how great is our God. You're the name above all names, Jesus, worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. You're the name above all names, Jesus, worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. 'Cause you're faithful, you're always the same. You're faithful, you never change. You're faithful, you're always good. You're always good. You're faithful, you're always the same. Faithful, you never change. You're faithful, you're always good. You're always good. Sing it again. You're faithful. You're always the same, Lord. Faithful. You never change. You're faithful. You're always good. You're always good. You're the name above all names, Jesus. most worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. Oh, see how great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. Oh, see how great is our God. Worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. grace has found me just as I am. I'm empty-handed but alive in your hands. I'm singing majesty. Oh, majesty. Your grace. Your grace has found me just as I am. I'm empty-handed but alive in your hands. I'm singing majesty. Oh, majesty. Forever. Forever I am changed by your love. In the presence of your majesty, we're singing majesty. Oh, majesty. Forever. Forever I am changed by your love. In the presence of your majesty. So here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. One more time. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
Be blessed and be a blessing.